Okay, this is Battle for Normandy from GMT Games. We're playing the breakout scenario and we are finally set up for the campaign. Well, it says breakout scenario. It is actually a breakout campaign. It covers everything from the 7th of June all the way through to August. I've set it up with a 5 map layout, with the idea as soon as Cherbourg is out of the way, we'll move that map, wall mount it, and we'll pull the main map over and give myself the extra 2 maps down south. To be quite honest, the 2 extra maps aren't really they're not really even built into the game system as such, because even in July, August, your reinforcements are coming on for the reinforcement positions on the existing map setup. So where the far edge of the table is now, that's about halfway down the full map with its extensions. So it's not as if you're even using the full maps and bringing things on at the far edge of it. What we've done in terms of putting the game on the map, the white cubes represent supply sources, so that'll either be the core markers for the Germans or the cities. You've got Cherbourg, Bayeux, Caen, Argentan, Vier, and Fleurs, I think, off the top of my head. And they are the actual supply sources. And divisional markers, the black blocks represent your divisional HQs for the Germans, orange for divisional HQs for the British, well, for the Commonwealth, green for the American divisional HQs. We've also got your beaches, your beach heads here, as we go all the way to the coast. They represent supply sources for the Allies up until the Allies get their get their core HQs onto the board. We've got purple discs represent the victory point hexes, and these award scores based on when you capture them. So currently the Allies have this one here, Cruelly, well, probably massacring that pronunciation. They've also got some Elegese. I think that's it. The rest of them are held by the Germans. So the ones where the Allies have got them, there'll be green counters in place there. Looking at the game, the situation is, all right, we're sure in terms of the Allies. Sword has done well. No, Sword, Juno, and Gold have done pretty well, but there's a thin crust of German sort of defences here. We've really got to be pretty aggressive though, and try and grab as much territory as we can very early on to offset the fact that the Germans have got elements of the Panzer-Lehr, 17th SS, 12th SS, and I think there's a 326th division. So those 3 Panzer divisions are coming in, and they're going to be a massive boost to the Germans. So there's going to be a temporary point in the first week or so where the Allies may be slightly outnumbered. The problem with the German situation is, to try and win this, they really do have to knock out one of these beaches, maybe 2. If they could take Omaha and Gold out, that would it. They'd definitely win. Omaha is by far the most vulnerable, but it's also congested with elements of 2 divisions. So it's also the most difficult to get to because of the road networks. whereas it's easier to get to Bayo and Caen and then try and attack the Commonwealth bridgeheads, beachheads. Another thing to remember is the Germans, if they get in close, those naval guns, there's a lot of naval artillery around here, and that can do tremendous amount of damage to an attacking force. Also, the Allies have got a lot of air power as well. I think they've got 104 air points active on this first term. Admittedly, the Germans aren't going to be able to do anything on the first term, but in about 4 or 5 days, the Germans should be in a position to launch a powerful attack. But it does sort of, it's a risky strategy. You could end up chewing up your panzer divisions. So the Germans possibly are going to have to play a defensive game here all the way through. Over this side on the Khotan Peninsula, the Allies have just got to expand their bridgehead as much as possible. And the first thing they need to do is cut off Cherbourg and the peninsula from the rest of occupied France. As soon as that happens, the situation for the Germans in the Cherbourg area becomes very difficult. You've got your replacements and remnants and stuff like that coming in. There's a separate track for them. The Americans really want to catch Cherbourg before the port's completely demolished, but that's probably not going to happen either. There's quite a few victory point hexes in this area to take, these purple ones. Cherbourg's the hardest, but some of these other ones are probably quite easy to take. Germans, really, you've got to let the Khotan Peninsula go. It's pointless trying to fight, because when the port's wrecked, the Allies aren't going to be able to do much with it anyway. Even when it's rebuilt, it's not a particularly brilliant port for landing stuff. So all in all, it's a difficult one, this, for the Germans. They've just got to sort of hang on for the first few days, see if they can get a decent counter-attack going after about 3 or 4, more like 5-6 days. Get your panzer divisions massed and try and knock one of these beachheads out. Otherwise, I think it's going to be what happened historically. They're just going to be ground to pieces very, very slowly over the next couple of months. Now, in terms of rules and everything, there aren't any rules videos. If anyone knows, apart from mine, so if anyone knows if there are any others, just put something in the comments. So I'm not a great fan of watching my own videos, but I really got no choice here. So I've got about 14 videos on the rules, which I'll be going over myself. And apart from that, I'm just going to have to wing it from the rule book and from memory, because I've played this before, but not for very long. Only I think for a couple of days worth of game time. In terms of erratas, there's living rules on the website and on Board Game Geek. There's errata that's available on Board Game Geek and frequently asked questions. There's a couple of play aids that are available, a sequence of play thing. We've got the 3-map variant PDF and rules that are available on Board Game Geek. In terms of the actual game itself, the counters and things, good counters, nicely centered. Some of them are a bit thinner than others, I've noticed. I don't know whether you can see it, but you see that one there? Some of them were thinner than others, which is weird, but there's no great, well, there's no loss of information or anything. The maps, really nice. Can't argue with that. Very, very good. Very sort of effective as for what they are. Each hex is clearly marked, which is, I like that because I find the ones where they only mark every 5 increments a bit annoying. It's very easy not to place things in the right place. The rule books, the main rule book is only 40 pages long. It's got an index, which is brilliant. You get a great plus mark for me for having an index. It's got some nice little charts here, visual aid charts. There are some examples of the landings and the parachute drops. Examples of play in the back of the scenario booklets. The scenario booklets are fine. One thing I will say is I have found issues with the counters and what the reinforcement schedules and setups say. Because if you look at the counters here, I'm just going to see, they've all got these little numbers on, and these are the turns. You see that 7 there? I know it's gone a bit wonky here, but to the right of the engineering NATO symbol, there is a number, and that's the turn it around. And the ones that are supposed to be here on the start of the game should be marked with S's, but there are some in the counter mixes that are S's, yet they're not on the setup, and they're not marked as eliminated units or anything. So I found quite a handful of discrepancies there. The play aids are, there are not many of them, but they're nice. You get a terrain effects chart, you get a unit identification chart, you get your combat results, miscellaneous tables with replacements and things. There's a anti-aircraft, German anti-aircraft plot map there. You've got record charts for eliminated units, for your air power, for your reinforcements, remnants, step losses, etc. You've got your interdiction levels for Allied air attack. So component wise it's excellent, and the only problem with this game is it's very, very difficult to get hold of. I got my copy with the expansion years and years ago, but it's on P500 now, the deluxe version, which has the full expansion built in, and it's still on P500, so I don't know how long before it's going to be available for printing. The only other thing, clipping all these counters, great fun, apart from the fact my clippers broke, so I've had to order another set of 2mm clip counter clippers. And that's it. So as I said, we're ready to go.